Hi, Mary with Reviewer's Diary. I do have a couple of updates. Number one, my used 16 by end of 2016. I'm just going to declare it a bust right now. I had picked out these lipsticks, and one lipstick takes me forever to use up, so I don't know why I thought I could use 16 lipsticks in a year. I did, however, mark these. I'm going to just expand it to as long as it takes because these are not cruelty-free. I purposely put all of my non-cruelty-free stuff in here. I still have others that are not cruelty-free, and what I do is when I do my makeup basket, I pick one out of the basket and use it. So I have a lot of lipsticks in here. I can't finish 16 lipsticks in a year. I don't know what I was thinking of. I think that was crazy. So that I am declaring that to be a bust. It just is. I'm never going to be able to finish that. Now, one of the things that I did do when I did my makeup declutter is I took the L'Oreal palette out and I gave it away. That was my Pan This palette, and it was taking forever. But that's not why I gave it up and why I took it out. It's basically because it's not cruelty free. And yet, I kept my Elizabeth Arden little palettes. I love Elizabeth Arden. I used Elizabeth Arden from the time I was about 17 all the way up until basically a year ago. Almost a year ago. It was last August, and here we are approaching August again, is when I declared myself to never buy anything that was not cruelty-free again. And I also said at that time, and everybody knows, that I told them that I was going to use up my non-cruelty-free stuff. Now the L'Oreal palette, I did give that up. And part of the reason was because it wasn't cruelty-free, but the non-cruelty-free stuff that I said I was going to use up, I told everyone it was going to be my Elizabeth Arden stuff. So I decided to stick to that and go ahead and let the L'Oreal palette go. So now I need a replacement for my Pan That palette. And I have two very different palettes from Elizabeth Arden that are going to be in this. These have been used by me. I do love them, but I'm willing to make these into my Pan That palette. So I've chosen these two. It took a lot of work to figure out what I wanted to pick because my makeup challenge with Catherine Pye only has this as the eyeshadow. So I don't really have, the only shadow I had that was in a challenge was the L'Oreal palette, which was in Pan That palette and was consistently in my makeup basket all the time. So I gave that up and now I'm going to sub these in. I'm not sure what to call these. Let me see, is there a name on the back? It has a name on it that has worn out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just call these my cool and warm palettes because one is cool colored. I used one that I had just like this that was used to smithereens and I threw it out. And I have another one of this one, but it's also used to smithereens. So both of these are fairly new. One of them has a little bit of wear in it. And this one is the replacement for the one that I used the hell out of and tossed out. So my plan, I'm not including the blushes in this, although I'll probably use them. But my plan basically is to use up both of these palettes completely. But I'm not going to put a time limit on because I'm already starting this late. Most people started this January 1st like I did with my L'Oreal palette. Now that one's gone and now it's July. So this one, and by the way, I don't know how people use up palettes so fast. But these are just going to be until they're gone, not including the blush. So these are going to be my new Pan That palette, and both of these will count. So The first one, one of the colors has a crack in it, and you can see I very lightly use this. It has two purple colors in it, a real dark purple and a lighter purple. This blue is really versatile, and so is this brown, and of course that is. So this is very usable. The one that I used up and tossed out actually was like really used to death, so it was good to find this one in my collection, because honestly I thought I was out of it. So I do love these colors, and these eyeshadows, the 5 of them, will be focused on, and the blush doesn't count toward this. This one I have used a little bit, and you can see the divot in the dark green color, which is right there. And this is the Warm palette. We're just going to call it Warm because I don't have the name of it on the back. It's worn down. But these are like really versatile colors, and this green is one of my favorite colors. I've worn this brick kind of color in the middle of my eyelid too. Now this is very similar in tone to my Walking on Eggshells, which is in my full face challenge with Catherine Pye. But I think I can still make this work. So thank you for watching this really brief intro to my brand new Pan That Palette set of palettes. I picked 2 because every palette I looked at had at least like 8 shadows in it, so I decided to pick 5 and 5 and a warm and a cool. So I'll put these in my makeup basket also, so when you see my makeup basket video, you'll see these listed. Thank you for watching. This has been Mary with Reviewer's Diary with my brand new Pan That Palette, which is not going to have an end date. No, can't finish these by December 31st, so these will be carried over into next year, and I'll just use the hell out of them till they're gone. Thank you for watching, and have a beautiful evening. Good night.